Okay. Hello, everybody. I can see everyone joining us, so thank you very much. We've got a few people coming in. I can see lots of customer names, so thank you guys for joining us. Hi, Baden. Hi, Brian. Hi, Mark. Hi, Mike. Hi, Steve, Rusty, Peter, Paul. Hi, guys. Thank you. Hope you're all staying super well in lockdown or wherever you're calling in from today. Loads of people. Julie and Ray, hey guys, they're our customers of ours, so nice to see you guys have joined us. Ken's in here as well, another customer of ours. Cool, so I'll just wait a few minutes. There's still heaps of people coming on, so we'll just give it a couple more minutes and then I'll launch into some housekeeping and we'll get started. Okay. All right, so just before we start, everybody, there is just a little bit of housekeeping. If you want to chat with us, if you hover over your screen, there's a little toolbar that pops up. That toolbar has on it a chat box, details about how you can ask questions and things like that. So if you need to do that, please feel free to chat away with me and with the team. If you raise your hand, you can do that as well. I can see some of you have just raised your hands. Cool. So we are the TrailLite team, obviously. So I've got with me today our sales consultants, our product consultants. My name's Ashley. If I haven't met all of you yet, I am the GM of retail here at TrailLite. So I'm going to kind of guide us through this a little bit, ask our sales team some hard questions, and hopefully just give you guys some information and some knowledge that you can enjoy while we're enjoying this lockdown. Hopefully it's nice and sunny for you guys wherever you are in New Zealand. It is for us here in Auckland, and it is for Vanessa down in the sunny south. So I just wanted to start firstly by talking a little bit about who we are for those that aren't our existing customers, a little bit about TrailLite, the company, and where we came from. So it all started back in 1954. I always love saying that because it reminds me of the song. Is it like it's summer of '69 or whatever it was? I won't sing too much, but yeah. So we were a furniture maker, building coffins, furniture, coffee tables, all sorts of things. And the then owner decided he would build a caravan for the summer holidays, and that caravan, took it away, enjoyed it with his family, and it was just an instant hit, obviously. And then orders started piling in for a TrailLite caravan. So this image that you can see there is from 1956. It was a caravan that a family owned, and we've been lucky enough to find that caravan, and we now are in the process of renovating it. Actually, what happened is about 10 years ago, someone contacted us and they'd pulled this old guy out of the bush, and we were lucky enough to purchase it. And this is the family that you can see in front that owned it, and they've been kind enough to give us a bit of their photos and their memorabilia from their times on tour with that caravan, one of the originals. So then this is 1964, actually a photo of our original TrailLite factory. We stayed here right up till about 15 years ago, actually. So if anybody, some of our old customers probably did visit this factory. We were called Penman and Crotty, and up until Pete and Ross, or Pete Newman, who some of you might know, purchased the business. We actually still have a handful of guys who work in our factory, and some in our leadership team who were key players at this factory, not in 1964, but who were there when we did the move to our new branch, still in Pukekohe, obviously. This is a row of TrailLite caravans in the 70s. So during the 70s, this was the real peak of caravan industry in New Zealand. Really every town had some sort of caravan factory. And it was around this time that TrailLite started to really develop itself as the niche for high-end caravans in the market. Any campground in the country really that you go to now, you'll be able to see probably a few TrailLite caravans parked up, used as holiday accommodation. I know when I've gone around campsites or traveled the country, you'll often see a couple of these older 1970s TrailLites still looking in mint condition and still super popular if they do come up on Trade Me. So the 70s, it was booming. It was a great time for caravan travel in New Zealand and for all those who entered the market. Unfortunately, it was in the 80s that the 20% sales tax basically disseminated the industry pretty much overnight. So there was a 20% sales tax that was placed on luxury goods, and that included caravans. Unfortunately, what happened as a result of that was pretty much all of the caravan manufacturers had to close their doors. And a lot of them prior to that point were really quite big. So it was a real shame to see basically what a sales tax could do to a New Zealand manufacturing industry like ours. It was around the same time, this time that Pete Newman and his business partner at the time, Ross Duncan, purchased TrailLite, and then all of a sudden overnight we were experiencing this complete decrease of interest in the caravan industry. So they started building anything again, going back to those roots as cabinet makers, furniture makers. They were building sheds, all sorts of things so that they could get through the period and come out the other side. Sometime in the mid-90s, there was a switch happening away from caravans and into motorhomes. So TrailLite naturally ebbed with that interest, and we started to build motorhomes. So you can see in the picture there, that's one of our TrailLite motorhomes from 2004. If you are in the build schedule at the moment, or you're waiting for a TrailLite motorhome, you'll know a lot's changed from that. But our sales team and us all at TrailLite still get excited when we see these come across the yard, because they're holding their value well, and they're still such an awesome motorhome if you can get your hands on one.
I do apologise, everyone. It looks like Ashley may have had a little bit of technical issues where she is just now. Let me just go through and just do a small introduction of the team, and we'll just get everybody to introduce themselves to you, just so that you know where we're all based and basically where we come from in the industry. And hopefully Ashley will come back online sometime shortly. Grant, would you like to start today, please?
Yes, hi. I'm Doug Penman. I work in the Auckland office, and I'm a sales consultant. And that's it. I've been with the company for some years now, for 7 years, and hopefully I've gained sufficient knowledge on all motorhomes, or most motorhomes.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dougie. Grant, how about you?
Yeah, thanks, Vanessa. So I've been with the company just over a year now. My background is in sales and account management, and I've had many years experience in that field, mainly in the sports and outdoor apparel and footwear industry. But certainly my interests have been around outdoor activities, whether it's land-based or water-based. I'm really passionate about both. And I've been an avid caravaner for many years, around 11, 12 years. And during that time, we travelled extensively throughout the country. And more lately, as my son grew into a teenager, we had the caravan within a motorhome park just north of Auckland, which was really, really good. We enjoyed about 5 or 6 years there, and it just gave us a really good understanding of one, being in one place, but two, the enjoyment that you can get from both caravanning and motorhoming. More recently, I've had the opportunity to spend quite a bit of time in motorhomes, and I have to say that I've really been enjoying that. It just gives a lot of flexibility. You can up and go a lot easier, perhaps, that you can in a caravan. So no, really enjoyed it and loving the team. We've got a great family, a values-based business, and the team is fantastic, really awesome bunch of people, and we work really, really well together. So I'm enjoying that aspect of the job too.
Wonderful, thank you, Grant. Adam, how about you?
Hi, I'm Adam Thomas. So I joined TrailLite 8 weeks before the first lockdown, so I'm a bit of a lockdown veteran now. But prior to that, I guess most of my career has been in travel, but much further abroad. Pretty much most of my time was spent with Air New Zealand. I jumped across to TrailLite, and it seemed to be wonderful timing as well, because obviously that is a business that has contracted. And now I'm in an industry that is absolutely thriving and absolutely loving it. So yeah, look forward to meeting you all if I haven't already, and seeing you at some point.
Great, thank you very much, Adam. And Glenn, our newest addition to our wonderful team.
Yeah, thanks, Ness. My name's Glenn Humphreys. My background is finance and banking, and more recently in sales. And I spent a lot of time overseas, traveling and living in different countries. And now I'm glad to be back in New Zealand and rediscovering all the beauty of what we've got here. I've been at TrailLite since March this year and absolutely loving it. It's a company that walks the talk. You know, they look after their staff and customers, and it's really great to see. I look forward to meeting everyone soon.
Fantastic, thank you, Glenn. And sorry for those of you that don't know me, I'm Vanessa. I'm from the Christchurch branch of TrailLite. I'm very proud to be working down here for the company. Love what I do, been in the industry for quite some time now. Certainly very passionate about the industry and what it has to offer our clients. So if you haven't met me, look forward to one day. You're bound to see me in the tracks, both in the north and the south. And yeah, onwards and upwards in the motorhome industry. Back to you, Ashley.
Thank you so much, Ness, and sorry about my technical difficulties, team, but I'm back in. Cool. So I thought we would just start by doing a little bit of a state of the industry, both for our customers and for those that are trying to get into motorhomes and caravans, because it's been a really interesting year. And as Adam said, he started, was it 4 weeks prior to the last lockdown? Ness has been with us for some time. So it's been a really interesting 12 months in the industry. Adam, so what sort of things are you seeing out there in terms of demand and supply?
Thanks, Ash. Well, I mean, as I said before, I started 8 weeks before the first lockdown, and I remember enjoying the first 8 weeks. And then when the lockdown happened, I remember thinking, great, last in, first out, there goes the job. Because it was, an unprecedented sort of an event, and we all knew it was going to have a major impact, but we didn't know what sort of impact it would have. And I guess in the last 12 months, we've seen really, really, in fact, incredibly strong demand for motorhomes and caravans. To be honest, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw a caravan on our yard that was available for sale, just because the demand has been so huge. Obviously, with the world being in the state that it's currently in, and with the borders being closed, a lot of people who previously would have traveled overseas are starting to look to the domestic market, essentially. So, and we are one of the businesses to really, really benefit from that. A lot of people are, they've got fond memories of the caravan, back in the day, having holidays, growing up, towing the old caravan behind, and a lot of people are looking to rediscover that. I also think as well, with the borders being closed, a lot of the rental motorhomes have dropped in prices, and I've noticed a lot of my friends are have been taking advantage of that, and it's almost been introducing motorhoming to a whole new generation as well, which has been fantastic. So certainly we've been keeping very busy. When that first lockdown happened, we didn't quite know what to expect out the other side. We've now been through a few. And so we've kind of got it in our stride now. You know, when we went into this lockdown as a sales team, we knew we would just carry on, and we knew we would continue to sell, and that's what we've been doing. So in terms of the state of the industry, it's fantastic. The demand is there, but I was speaking with Ashley recently, and I sort of said we've kind of more become brokers now as opposed to just salespeople. Traditionally, people would come to us on the yard. We would show you a vehicle that was available. If you wanted it, you could have it. Whereas now, because demand is so high, it's almost a case of, and if I could give everybody one piece of advice, if you're looking for something, you do have to work with us, get to know us, introduce yourselves, let's stay in touch, because things are selling so quickly. If a secondhand TrailLite comes to us, more often than not, we're selling that before we even get it listed on the internet, because we know who's looking for what. So with, I guess, building TrailLites, we've always had that production delay, in the sense that you put your deposit down and then we manufacture it. So TrailLites, they're still humming along, but we're looking at international motorhomes and secondhand motorhomes. They're actually getting a little bit tricky to source. Well, in order to just the demand is so high, they're flying out as soon as they can come in, and we're actually pre-selling international ones. So you do kind of need to reach out to us, so we know you and we know what you're looking for, and we can keep you front of mind to make sure that we can help you get into the motorhome or caravan or whatever you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, Adam, we just had a question come through about from Matthew asking, you know, that there's this assumption that we're one of the hardest hit industries. And I guess we've been fortunate. Yes, we are essentially a tourism industry, but we are really predominantly only selling to domestic people, right? So we haven't been impacted at all in the same way that maybe a rental company or people that are renting their motorhomes have been.
Yeah, it's actually kind of the opposite, because people are looking for motorhomes. We've never really been in the rental business. We're in the manufacturing and retail business. So while I guess if you were in rentals, you'd be struggling a little bit, we're not, and we're certainly seeing the benefits of that.
And I guess, you know, one of the things to mention too is that what does this mean for both existing customers, so people who own a motorhome at the moment? Like, what are you seeing for them, Adam, in terms of their ability to sell their product or upgrade, downgrade?
Yeah, so it's an interesting time, because a lot of people are coming to us saying that, you know, they've got their motorhome and they're looking for the next one. The good news is, if you've got a motorhome and you're looking to sell it, there's never been a better time to sell. We've seen, you know, secondhand motorhomes and caravans going for good money. That's, again, it's just down to supply and demand. So certainly moving your motorhome on won't be too much of an issue. However, the flip side of that is you've got to work with us to make sure you know what you're getting into, because, you know, it's a really, really hot market. There's a lot of people looking for a new motorhome. So yeah, again, it's about consulting with us, letting us know what you're after, and going from there.
Awesome. Yeah. And what about for people, you mentioned, you know, that people who are looking to get into the industry should be reaching out to us so that we're aware. Is there anything else that it means for newbies?
So it's a great time for newbies to really just do their homework. I mean, you know, we're all sat at home at the moment. Well, we should be sat at home at the moment, and a lot of us find we've got a little bit of time to spend. So I've noticed a lot more sales inquiries coming through the website, which is fantastic. So now's the time to do all your homework if you're a newie. Obviously, if you look at our website, we've got a huge amount of information that is available there for you. So make sure you engage with that, and also get in touch with us. Because if you spend this time now doing your homework, it means you're going to be better educated, better prepared, and understanding what you really need to be looking for in a motorhome or a caravan. Because while there's not a huge amount out there, you know, you've got to get the motorhome or caravan that suits your needs. One of the it can be quite easy in this market to just kind of latch on to a caravan or a motorhome. But if you understand what's going to work for you in terms of payload, in terms of layout, then, we're here to help you stop you making a costly sort of mistake, to get you into the right unit. And it is better to take a little bit of time and to research, to do your homework, to work with us and get it right, rather than to just feel the pressure and think, goodness me, there's a motorhome, it's for sale and I've got money, because that's not necessarily going to get you the best outcome.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we say it's so important to reach out, right? So what we're going to do next, everybody, is we're just going to go through our TrailLite product. So we've got a whole range of products in our on our yards. So Glenn, can you tell me a little bit about our Benema? Just unmute yourself, Glenn.
Well, apologies there. Thanks, Ashley. Yes, the Benema, what can I say? It's a gem of a product. It's one that TrailLite is lucky enough to be the sole agent for in New Zealand. The Benema is made in Spain, and we import them from our UK distributor. Benema, they've got 40 years of experience under their belt, and all their motorhomes are self-contained, ready to go and certified for New Zealand. Perfect for people that are either new to motorhoming or perhaps looking to upgrade to something that's got all the latest technology. The range consists of starts with the Benny van, which is similar to the combi van that we used to drive in the 70s with the sliding door. Then they have the Primero, which is a great value for the money. The Tesoro, which is based on a Ford Transit chassis. And finally, the Maleo, which is on a Fiat Ducato chassis. Each of these there's floor plans to suit everyone, and also different payloads to suit everyone. And of course, all our products, including the Benema, are backed by the TrailLite warranty, service and support. It makes them very hard to beat.
I guess the one thing before I dropped out, or after I dropped out, I was going to talk about is we introduced Benema into our range in 2015, and since then we're really proud of the fact that we've been able to grow this brand into this awesome value proposition for people who are, like Glenn said, new to motorhoming and keen to get out there and try it. And now 1 in 10 motorhomes sold in the New Zealand market is as a Benema. So it's a really popular product, isn't it? Like, we see loads of women by themselves entering into a Benema, and like Glenn said, lots of floor plans. So really great popular floor plans that aren't always seen in some of the other brands that are available on the market. Like, what would you say our most popular floor plan is in the Benema, Glenn?
Based on recent sales, I'd have to say it's the rear lounge. A lot of people go for that one, which offers the flexibility of a place to sit, as well as a drop-down bed, which is ample, to sleep 2 to 4 people, normally with a little lounge up the front as well. So yeah, really flexible. It's great.
Awesome. And then the next introduction to our range, and this is in sort of no particular order, but the Benema did come in first, was our Fusion. Adam, talk to us about the Fusion.
Yeah, sure. So we started bringing in the Fusions, I think it was around about March last year. And they've really, really taken off. I've got to admit, it's probably, if I were looking for a motorhome for me, I'm pretty well sold on the Fusion, so I'm pretty passionate about these ones. Now the Fusions, there are a few different layouts, but the 3 biggest ones would be your queen size island bed at the back. And now they do that in a 7 meter and they do that also, sorry, 6.990 and a 7.4 meter queen size single bed. So if you're looking for a proper island bed for ease of access and so on, but you perhaps don't want a bigger one, as far as I understand, that one of the Fusions, the 7 meter Fusion, is probably the shortest that you'll be able to get with a proper north-south island bed. So I do really love that model. So if you're interested in that, do have a look at the Fusion series on our website. They also do the twin single bed model as well. Now, what appeals to me about the Fusions are they are Italian built. So they are McLuey. McLuey doesn't sound very Italian to me, but it is an Italian brand. And I guess what appeals to me with these ones are, first of all, that being Italian, that they're a little bit more swish, you know, a little bit more chrome, a little bit more in the LED lighting. They do look really, really nice. The layout and the aesthetics, the design, the interior really appeals to me. So I find it quite a beautiful motorhome to be in. But also for me as well, I think it really hits the mark in terms of self-containment as well. So these roll out with 180 watts of solar power and 2 120 amp hour batteries. So they're pretty well set up to give you a good few nights off the grid if you wanted. And for me, that is the appeal about motorhoming, is to be able to freedom camp when you want to. And of course, given the layout of these vehicles, for me, the big kicker is the huge boot in the back. So if you're looking for, you know, e-bikes seem to be all the rage. If you're someone who wants to drag around all your golf clubs, or you know, you just have a lot of gear, fishing gear with you, these vehicles are great for it because they've got the payload to support it. You can upgrade to get a heavier chassis, so payload's no issue. Plenty of storage. They're pretty luxurious, and to me, they tick all the boxes in terms of what I'd be looking for a motorhome.
Awesome, thank you, Adam. And I guess a good thing about the Fusions too is that there's a decent level of stock holding that we've got coming through over the next 6 months of those too, right? So for those that are looking to get in, the Fusion is an attractive option. Cool. So Nessa, now do you want to talk to us a little bit about mobile vetters, Vanessa?
Sure, no problem. So also as part of our lineup, we have the mobile vetter range. Our mobile vetter is yet again another Italian elegance built motorhome. Our K-yacht design is classed as being a coach built style motorhome. It has very concentrated designs of high technology, quality standards, uniqueness about it with regard to the coach built style, with regard to the cab. Obviously, the driver's cabin merges seamlessly with the living spaces to give that much larger open space that you can get in a 7.5 metre motorhome. We've got a couple within that range, being a permanent bed unit with a permanent double, and we also have the permanent singles at the back as well. When you purchase one of these particular motorhomes, they have an extra large boot space, just like Adam said with our Fusion products. They talk about, obviously, with the Italians, that they're big enough to fit your classy little motorbikes in the back, and your Vespas and all sorts of things like that. So absolutely gorgeous product. One of the things about the mobile vetter is obviously the curbside habitation door, which is really important to us here in New Zealand. From a safety aspect, especially if you've got your grandchildren or extra younger family members with you. Just keeps that safeness going with the product. The mobile vetters have very good freedom camping options, with having 240 amp hours of battery, 240 watts of solar. We do include an awning with that particular product. They are on a COF, and the payloading is excellent on these products because they are on what we call a 440 kg chassis. So it means that you, a lot of the time, get a 1 ton payloading on those particular products. This particular product is still driven very much under the car license category, so no issues with him and or her, because they are a beautiful product to drive. Just an awesome all-round lovely feeling quality product We do have a 7-metre one currently within the range, which has the rear lounge, which has been very, very popular for us. Does have smaller boot space if you go for something with that rear lounge setup, but yet again, very good. Hopefully I'm not out of turn with telling you that we do have some extra layouts coming within the mobile better range for 2022. So we look forward to sharing those awesome layouts with you as they become available. So just an all-round really awesome product, Ashley.
Yeah, and look, Ness, you mentioned one thing about drivability, and I know for some people, and I was the same when I first drove it, it's quite different to a coach-built style product, isn't it? But once you get used to it, it's good to drive.
It certainly has very wide viewing. You know, you do feel like you're above everybody else when you're driving down the road because you've got these very large windows in the front. But by the same token, that just adds to the aesthetics of the lounge space. When you're actually parked up somewhere, you have these beautiful big windows for outward viewings and all sorts of things like that. Just a really, really nice, comfortable product.
Awesome. Thanks, Ness. I will just mention to everybody too that Vanessa brought up some really good points about COF first warrant of fitness, car license versus class 2 license, and also payload and tier weight. And there's a heap of information on our website in the blog section and our buyer's guide about some of those key points that we might not raise in this webinar, but that are available for information on our website. Cool. So now we're going to move on to the auto sleeper. Dougie, can you talk us through our auto sleeper product?
Yes, for start off, we are the sole importers of the auto sleeper. We provide full factory warranties, backup, and of course support. Auto sleeper has been produced for over 50 years now. They are manufactured in the Cotswolds, which is a UK company, of course. It is a family business. The vehicles are hand built by experienced craftsmen, and this shows up in the quality of the vehicles actually. The auto sleepers that we bring in to New Zealand are on Mercedes, and of course that means rear wheel drive and of course German expertise. They are 2.2 litre engine providing 163 brake horsepower, and they got the 7-speed automatic gearbox. The walls and roof of the Mercedes are made of GRP, and of course being European, they're very well insulated and double glazed. They are generally of 2-berth, however, perfect for a couple. We have a variety of roomy, comfortable floor plans, ranging from a warrant of fitness through to the COF type, singles at the back, French beds, or to make up beds. The designs are very cozy and very British.
Awesome. Thanks, Dougie. And again, sort of similar to the Fusion, some good level of availability there too when it comes to the auto sleeper as well, coming sort of end of the year. So another nice option if you're looking at something ahead of Christmas. And last but certainly not least, our heritage product, the TrailLite. Grant, talk us through our TrailLites.
Thanks, Ash. Yeah, well, obviously we're all super passionate about our TrailLite built product. They're made in a production unit in Pukekohe, so we're hands-on there ourselves. The key features really and why look at building a TrailLite with us? Well, firstly, they're made in New Zealand for New Zealand conditions. What does that mean? Basically, all of our vehicles are rear-wheel drive on dual wheels, so they will essentially go anywhere. There's less likelihood of getting stuck. We build on high quality base vehicles. There's 300 series are built on the Volkswagen Crafter, 500 series built on the Mercedes Sprinter, and 2 configurations. There's a 2.2 turbo diesel or a 3-litre V6, and then our big larger units, the 700 series, are built on the Iveco base units. offering larger load capacities and higher GPMs. So all offer high quality build, obviously, a high level of spec, and some super great features. The layouts that we offer are quite comprehensive too. There's everything from rear lounges with an over cab luton bed. There's rear lounge options with drop-down beds, also queen-sized island beds and twin singles. So there's really something for everyone within our floor plan range. The main thing, I think, one of the key factors that we offer at TrailLite, and it gives our clients greater flexibility, is we have larger capacities than industry standard. So things like water, so you get larger capacities in freshwater and grey water, big energy, so large batteries, lots of different options as far as the batteries go too. So there's standard AGMs, there's a couple of different lithium packages as well. So there's something for everyone again. Great solar, so our standard solar package is 3 panels right through to 7 panels if that's what our customers want to
Grant,
work.
can I just interrupt you for a second? Sorry. Are you able to speak up a little bit into the mic? Just people are saying they're finding it really hard to hear you. So
Okay, I'll give a little test. How's that? Is that better?
I think that's a little bit better. Maybe a little bit louder if you can.
Okay, cool. We'll just see if I can tweak that volume. Okay, so yeah, also TrailLite offers a high level of specification, and that's from all of the componentry that we use. So it's cabinetry and hardware. So we use stainless steel fittings on everything, metal sliders on all of our drawers, right through to the battery and the operating systems with the highest spec operating systems that we can source locally. We don't cut corners on anything. How's that sound?
Oh, we're still struggling to hear you. I can hear you fine. I don't know if others can, but maybe just remove your headphones, Grant, if you can.
Yep, sure thing.
Some people can hear you fine, but others can't. So
Okay, how's that?
that's
Yes.
much better.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So the other thing too is one of the main differences with TrailLite is that the construction is solid. So we use a sandwich construction technique, which is GRP fiberglass on TrailLite spec product and LU fiber outer wall on Landmark spec product, with great insulation in both. So we also have solid floors with aluminium and ply for structural integrity. And the quality of the furniture is second to none, which is screwed and glued to the floor and to the walls. So what that translates to, they don't flex, they don't creak, and they don't rattle. 3 of the major factors in motorhoming. Some other key factors: after sales service and support. So we've got 2 dedicated service centres and a nationwide support network, which are available to offer you assistance on the road should you need it. Resale and minimal depreciation within TrailLite ownership. Buying a TrailLite is really an investment, not only in yourself and the lifestyle that it can provide, but it's financially sound too. The high demand for our product, both new and pre-owned, and that's through the strength of the brand and our customer loyalty and return business. So I might just pop back and just recap on a couple of things with regards to the base vehicles, if I may, just for those of you that couldn't hear. So we build on 3 base vehicles. There's the 300 series, which is on our Volkswagen, 500 series on the Mercedes, and that comes in 2 configurations. There's the 2.2 litre turbo diesel or the V6 3 litre, and then our larger units are built on the 700 series on the Iveco base unit. They all offer a high build quality and a high level of spec and great features through those base vehicles. Everything from cruise control, Bluetooth ability, for your phone and stereo entertainment package, ABS traction control, lane deviation as well, and there's a few optional extras like the cruise control that is adaptive. Okay, so that's an extra. On our larger units, obviously you can select options like rear air suspension. That makes quite a difference to your ride, and it also gives you a little bit of extra travel if you seek some extra height in the back. So the other key features are with TrailLite, we've got great flexibility as far as the options that we can provide. So there's such things in our larger units such as black water tanks. So rather than having a cassette, you can go for a black water tank, which gives you 138 litres of black water capacity, just really meaning that you can stay away off the grid for longer rather than being in a position to discharge your waste more frequently. The other factors are obviously the main reason, or one of the main reasons that our clients choose to work with the TrailLite brand is that it's about how they use their motorhome. So on a standard motorhome, say European import, they're generally great for weekend use, long weekends away, up to 2, 3, 4 days off-grid use, and then you pop back into a motorhome park or a caravan park, discharge your waste, refill with fresh water, etc. With TrailLites, we actually build them so that they're available for minimum of 7 days use off-grid. So it just gives you a lot more flexibility of where you go, how long you can stay there for, before you have to re-enter civilization to discharge waste, refill with fresh water, etc.
I might just stop you there, Grant, because we've got a few more slides to get through. I will just say to everybody that's listening, we can talk about TrailLite products until the cows come home too. So it is a really good opportunity that if you are keen to hear a little bit more about why we love the TrailLite products so much, any of the guys and girls that are here today will be happy to chat with you one-on-one. We're always keen to talk TrailLite products as much as we can. I'll also just mention as well, within the mobile Veta range, there's 2 styles. There's the A-Class and there is the Kia P, which is our coach built version of the mobile Veta. And as Glenn mentioned, there's a few ranges within the Benema, but at this stage, the Fusion is just one. And the Auto Sleeper is just one, but the TrailLite obviously has multiple as well, just to sum that up for you. So cool. So I guess we kind of alluded to this a little bit in what I was saying before, but we do offer a really robust needs assessment. Basically what that is a consultation with one of these amazingly talented product consultants. Doug, talk us through this really quickly.
Yeah, basically motorhomes are expensive and you don't want to make an expensive mistake. Mistakes do happen. People do buy the wrong motorhome because they rushed into it. It takes time to choose the right motorhome out of the hundreds of vehicles that are out there in the market. You've got to really work out your non-negotiables. Things like, do you want double beds, single beds, made up beds, all that sort of thing. There's 4 things that are going to impact you in motorhoming. And one is the sleeping arrangement, of course. That's got to be correct for you. The kitchen, that's where you're going to be preparing meals. So it's got to be large enough for that. You really want a separate shower and toilet. I think that's a big thing too. And lastly, the lounge. That's where you're going to be while it's raining and you're reading a magazine, watching TV or entertaining. So those are the 4 things that you have to choose. Then you've got rear wheel drive, front wheel drive. There's many things that you've got to consider. We at TrailLite, we like to try and make it clear to those who are trying to purchase what their non-negotiable things are. And to start off with, you really need to read our Essential Needs to Know brochure, and you can get that from going online and downloading it. Or you can ring us, email us, or come and see us. there is a form online which you can go to on the TrailLite website that you can fill out to make an appointment, and we can do it that way. So please use us. Ring or email us or something. Book an appointment with us, something like that, so as we can make it clear to you what your non-negotiables are, or help work it out. So it suits your lifestyle, and the motorhome will suit your lifestyle.
Awesome. And just for everybody, when I send the recording for this out, I'll pop the form that Doug's talking about in there, so that you're welcome to book with one of these, one of our team here, and they can conduct a needs assessment with you online and just chat through some of the stuff more in a one-on-one style. Cool. So the best ways to research and decide, I think this is a really important topic, because as Doug mentioned, we've got loads of people who unfortunately we engage with who have made what we call an expensive mistake. They've gone out, they've purchased the wrong product, and unfortunately they realize that one of those four key elements is missing, and they're not enjoying life on the road. So Glenn, do you want to talk us through some of our, what we think are the best ways to research and to decide, and how people can avoid making one of these mistakes?
Yes, sure. Thanks, Ash. As Ashley was saying, buying a motorhome is a big financial commitment. So it's important to make it an investment, not a mistake. So we like people to buy right and buy once. And we don't want you to fall into the trap of buying on price alone. You've really got to check to see what's included in the price that you're seeing advertised. You know, things like solar panels, TVs, satellite dishes, awnings, on-road costs, all those things may or may not be included in the price. So you've really got to do your research, make sure you check all those things. You have to be willing to compromise on some things. You know, I've lost count of how many times people have come in and they want a 6-metre motorhome with a big island bed, large kitchen, separate tower, shower, toilet, big front lounge. In a 6-metre motorhome, unfortunately, you're just not going to get those things. It's just not big enough. So you have to be realistic, and working out what is really important to you, your non-negotiables. You really got to focus on those. The other thing is not to focus on buying what is available right now. Just because you see something advertised as being available now, it might not be the right motorhome for you. I know we all want to rush, get on the road before Christmas, but there's plenty of examples of people coming back disappointed because they rushed in. So it just pays to take your time. And starting buying a motorhome or caravan is not just a case of looking on Trade Me. You know, you're buying a luxury product. It's similar to buying a house. When you purchase a property, you're going to consider things such as, you know, do you want to be in the city? Do you want a rural lifestyle block? You know, do you want an apartment or a quarter-acre block? It's no different with a motorhome. You really have to sit down and work out what your needs are. You're not buying a motorhome for your family. You know, we get a lot of examples of people coming in and they're buying it for their grandchildren. In reality, they're probably only going to take the grandkids away once a year. So is that really a good reason to be buying a motorhome? You really need it to buy it for the reasons that are really important to you. Thanks, Ash.
Thanks, Glenn. And I've actually just had a chat pop in. Are we going to talk about caravans? And perfect slide for that. So, Ness, you're obviously from caravan country down south. Talk us through how people make a decision based on whether to go caravan, whether to go motorhome, and a little bit about caravans if you can.
Yeah, sure, Ashley. Thank you. Look, it's deciding between the two can be quite overwhelming and sometimes quite confusing. I guess one of the biggest things that you need to look at is what your lifestyle is. Where do you want to go? Places you want to stay. One of the biggest things with caravans is obviously that is a product that requires a tow vehicle. So for a lot of people out there, you may already have that good 4x4 vehicle or something that has a really good tow rating, because obviously the two have to match. You've got to have a vehicle that is capable of towing that caravan and towing that caravan easily and safely behind you. Certainly with motorhoming, obviously it's quite different because you just hop in the driver's seat and you just drive off, and of course your home is on your back. Like I said before, it is just working out that lifestyle that goes with the two. Caravans are generally a product that somebody will look at from a space point of view. You do get a lot more space. So say you've got a 7-metre caravan, you will have a lot more living space in a 7-metre caravan than you do in a 7-metre motorhome, because your 7-metre caravan is highly likely to have an awesome separate shower toilet. You'll have a permanent walk around bed at some point. You'll have a great little kitchen, but you'll also have really good living space at the front. When we go into a motorhome of 7 metres with the very, very similar products, that living space at the front of the product is actually reduced down because that is taken up with your motor and your cab seats, of which is generally in a motorhome. Obviously, they turn around to become part of your living space. Motorhomes are a lot easier when it comes to freedom camping. From a freedom camping point of view, you can be driving down a road, done this many times myself, and you come across a really awesome river that looks like it's got a really awesome fish in it. So you're just going to pull yourself up on the side of the road where it's good and safe off the road, put your fishing line in the river, and then of course you've got your cup of tea being made in behind you. A lot easier to park a motorhome in those situations than it is a caravan in a lot of places. From my own history, obviously a caravan is very good from longer term holidays. So you might go somewhere and you'll park up for 5 or 10 days or something like that. So then you set your caravan up and then you've still got your motorhome to be, your tow vehicle to be able to go off and explore places that are around where you're actually staying. Both very much play a part in the RV industry, and you can't have one without the other in a lot of places. It is just working out what your lifestyle is and going forward, just like all of the other guys, it is working out what your not negotiables are in an RV product. It is really, really important, and we here at TrailLite are here to help you with that, to guide you along the way to make sure that you make the right decisions going forward between the two products. I'm certainly very passionate about both. I come from caravan history and certainly moving over to motorhomes because they had a motor in front of them that was a little bit harder to take on, but I'm certainly very passionate about that particular side of the RV industry as well because of the flexibility that can offer a lot of people. Certainly, like I said, any questions at any time, please just drop us a chat or something like that. All of us are well versed on both of the products and more than happy to help you along the way to make the right decision. Ashley.
Thank you. And I just will say we've got some exciting announcements coming for TrailLite in terms of caravans over the next little while. I was inundated with requests and questions about it. I'm not going to let too much away, but if you are interested, please do jump on and register your interest in being up to date on those things on our website. It's the main banner on TrailLite.co.nz, so you can register to find out what all the hype is about. And also, Ness, we had a question about towing a small car behind a motorhome. Are you able to answer that now in relation to this?
Yeah, absolutely. We do get asked that a lot because obviously that is one of the restrictions of owning a motorhome. When you do park up somewhere, obviously you're a little bit more limited about places that you can explore around you. Certainly encourage the e-bike scene. Has taken off very well here in New Zealand, and we certainly have some really awesome tracks that you can follow up with the e-bikes. But certainly from a towing a vehicle point of view, there's a couple of things that you do need to be aware of. Obviously the type of motorhome that you're looking at, front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive, and a lot about the chassis that you're actually got your motorhome on as well too. There are some chassis out there that you definitely need to talk to us and or talk to a tow bar specialist to find out exactly what can be mounted in underneath the motorhome as far as the tow bar is concerned. Certainly on our own TrailLite products, because we build on rear wheel drive, very, very easy, and we certainly have the facilities to be able to put tow bars on for towing purposes. One of the other things that is really important to take into consideration is obviously the combined weight of the two products from a driver's license point of view. Certainly some of the vehicles that are at the top of the range as far as the weight of GVM is concerned, when you add a tow vehicle to it, it can sometimes push into another driver's license category, hence being into that class 2 license. So it is just being aware of what's available out there, what sort of tow bar and the rating of the tow bar that can be fitted for whatever it is that you may want to tow in behind the motorhome, whether it be a car, your jet boat, your jet skis, or even just an in general trailer for that weight baiting situations that a lot of people certainly use their motorhomes for. But it is just asking the questions, and we are here and more than happy to help you along the way with that.
Awesome, thanks Ness, and I hope that answered your question on the Q&A. So Grant, I am gonna ask you to talk for a bit and just see if I get lots of the chats again saying that people still couldn't hear you, but and if that's the case, I'll just whiz over and I'll finish the slide for you. But basically what we want to talk about here is just a really important concept of total cost of ownership. So I'll flick over to you, Grant, and then I'll just watch the chat.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Ash. I've fine-tuned my mic as well, so that should be coming through loud and clear. But,
it's nice and clear for me, so
cool.
hopefully it is.
Excellent. Well, yeah, let's have a look at the total cost of ownership. It's really a critical part of your buying decision process, and often one that is overlooked. So I guess ensure that whomever you're choosing to work with, if through a dealer, that they can cover this area to your satisfaction. I know at TrailLite, we often discuss this as part of our consultative process with our clients. You should really know roughly what the cost of ownership is per annum and the projected depreciation on your vehicle that you're considering. So depreciation rates can vary greatly, subject to a few key things. One is choose a strong and popular and well-known brand. They're going to be less impacted through depreciation. Well laid out floor plans, another key factor. Try and stick to something that's got mass appeal. Obviously, if it appeals to you, there's more chance that it's going to appeal to others when you come to either upgrade or sell your motorhome. Again, well-known base vehicles are super important, like Fiats, Fords, Volkswagens, Mercedes, Ivecos, and if you're looking at the pre-owned market, base vehicles like Isuzus and Mitsubisis for older vehicles, solid as, can't go wrong. Also, well-balanced powertrains. It's really something, again, that's overlooked. So ideally, you want to be sitting around 160 brake horsepower and above, because what that means is it gives you a really well-balanced vehicle to push along a 6.5 to 8 meter motorhome, weighing between 3.5 and 6 tons. So really important. There are numerous vehicles out there that are somewhat underpowered. So again, it's just a consideration when you're doing your research, look for a good, well-balanced unit. Also load capacities, and is it fit for purpose? Is it a warrant of fitness or a COF? The advantages of a COF really are that it gives you greater payload and more flexibility about what you can take. Again, habitation door, that's something that is overlooked sometimes. Ideally, curbside, families are more conscious of the location of the habitation door. Other things like capacity, so water.
Sorry,
energy.
Grant, just on that too, I saw a chat come through earlier. All of our products are doors on the curbside. So any of those products that the team spoke about earlier have the door on the curbside. Sorry to interrupt.
No, for sure. Another thing that can greatly impact your resale or your depreciation rate is things like capacity. So it's water, energy, storage play a big factor in resale, and it does impact on how you can use your motorhome and or caravan. And naturally, condition, how's it worn, has an impact on resale and the valuation costs, depreciation rates. So we encourage things like an annual check to be completed. So it really does identify any potential issues, and they can be resolved before becoming a major issue. We work with a standardized formula for calculating depreciation rates, and this is for both insurance and market valuations should you consider selling. And this can give our customers approximate costs of ownership across our range. So everything has a cost to it. It's really just a matter of determining these up front. So saves any nasty and potential surprises down the track. So let's look at what are cost of ownership. So primarily insurance costs, that's a given. Warrant of fitness and COF costs, that's a given, 12 monthly or 6 monthly in a COF instance. Road user charges, again, that's something that you factor into the cost of ownership on an annual basis. Servicing for the base vehicle, so that's an annual service, and also we recommend that annual habitation check, and it's really just important to keep on top of things like hatch seals, fridge servicing, and anything that needs to be done. And it also validates the warranty, both for the vehicle, the servicing, and a habitation check. Also keeping certifications current, so the likes of electrical warrant of fitness, gas compliance, self-containment certification, they're every 3 to 4 to 5 years. So it's really just a matter of keeping those up to date, and they are a cost of ownership. Then there's depreciation. Obviously, when you come to sell it, or for the reason of updating or moving to another product, and with depreciation, what we do is as I say, we have a formula. We can sit down with our clients, we can work through what the depreciation rates are on a vehicle that you're considering buying from us, and give you a really good picture on an annual basis of what those depreciation rates are. So again, just to summarize, it just really comes back to working with the dealer or the outlet that you're looking at dealing with, making sure that you cover off that, have that conversation, and that you feel confident and comfortable with the depreciation rates around the product that you're looking at. Ash.
Awesome. Thank you. And I've got heaps of questions, so please use the Q&A section if you want to ask any more. And I know we're a little bit over 3 o'clock, but I'll pump through these questions anyway, so so that we can continue to provide some information for those that are interested. Okay, so we had a question about EV models of motorhomes, likelihood of that happening. Does anyone want to talk to that? Ness, yeah.
Yep, sure. Look, at this particular stage, obviously the EV market is really starting to come to the forefront. One of the biggest things that we already currently have with our motorhomes is all of the motorhomes in our range have what we call AdBlue, which creates a low emissions from the diesel. So they are already environmentally friendly to a degree. Obviously the EV range kind of takes over from that going forward. I don't personally know of anything in the pipeline that is coming through from any of our suppliers with regard to converting a Fiat Ducato over to an EV just yet. And or by the same token, I guess eventually our own VWs, Ivecos and Mercedes will be starting to move in that direction. I guess one of the hardest things going forward is the cost of those particular products. We're just going to have to all just keep our eyes and ears open just to see what becomes available, especially even over the next 12 months, as obviously things are trying to move quite quickly in that particular department. So yeah, I guess it's one of those watch this space and just kind of see what's coming. Certainly at TrailLite, should we have any indication of an EV product coming, you guys, if you're on our web mailing list and all sorts of things like that, you will be the first to know.
I think the really important thing to note too is that it's all about the range, right? So in an EV vehicle, if you only get 80 or 90 Ks out of it, it kind of isn't really the way that we motorhome. So it will be a really interesting space to watch. But thanks for that, Ness. Okay, I had a question about upgrading from Warrant of Fitness to COF. I'll get Doug to talk about that, but I also just want to say that I would really advise against / do not even consider buying a product that is a Warrant of Fitness if you don't think that you can operate safely under a Warrant of Fitness or under that 3,500 GVM weight limit, and then trying to upgrade it. Because Doug, do you know much about this?
Only in that it is possible, of course. We don't actually provide that service, but there is a company that can upgrade and upgrade with a healthy gross vehicle mass too. So it's really a personal thing. I think people really need to know exactly what they're going to be carrying, and then from there. One doesn't want to get caught by the establishment for being overweight, of course. So it's a careful consideration, and that's where we want to be upfront with everyone regarding tier weight, gross vehicle mass. But it can be done from a Warrant of Fitness to a COF.
Yeah, and I will just add again to that, like, I wouldn't be entering research phase or purchasing decisions going, oh, I'm going to try and upgrade this, I'm going to buy this, and then I'm going to upgrade it later. I don't think that that's a very wise move. So it's really only for people who, may have a Warrant of Fitness motorhome and realize that it possibly doesn't have the payload that they need or something like that. But yeah, I would recommend against using that in your purchasing decisions. Cool. I'll chat quickly about you may have seen, we had a lot of questions around the recent announcements on Warrant of Fitnesses and COFs with motorhomes and cab cutouts and new legislation that the NZTA brought out. For those of you who don't know, basically the NZTA are now requiring what's called an LT400 on all motorhomes manufactured with things like cab cuts, hydraulic leveling legs, sort of modifications, any type of major modifications. It's just a compliance paperwork. They will require them on motorhomes that are built post 2005. At TrailLite, our manufactured products, we have been providing LT400s for our products for long before that and have continued to do so right up to today, and will continue to do so in the future. So anyone that owns a TrailLite product should have no issues with getting a COF, and their LT400s are all loaded with the NZTA and you are good to go. If for some reason that you do go to get your COF on a TrailLite and they can't find the LT400, that's no problems. Just let us know, and we've had a couple of those. It's an administration issue on the NZTA's point of view, but we can assist and we can help, but we don't have a record of them. It's all with the NZTA, and it should be no issues getting COFs. We've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of customers go through COFs, and as I said, we've had a couple of issues, but they've all been resolved and the COFs are fine. If you own an international product from us already, You've got what's called stage 2 compliance, and we sent out a fact sheet on where you can find that plate. We just recommend that you take a photo of the plate. It's on Benamars, I believe that it's under the hood, and it's just a little sort of square aluminium plates that you can see stage 2 compliance on. Just take a photo of it. From I think 18 months or so ago, they started loading all of those compliance paperworks into the system. We've always forfeited those over to the NZTA, but I think for some people were loading them and some weren't in terms of NZTA. So just if you show up for a COF and they don't have their record on file, they will accept the plate, and you just need to show them where that plate is. So we just recommend you know where it is in terms of that COF. But again, all of our customers should have no issues. It's really going to impact horse trucks and anyone who was, any businesses out there who weren't really complying with sort of basic safety requirements. So it's a really good thing for the industry. We see we've been doing it for ages and we're compliant, so no troubles there. Cool. I just have some more on my phone, so just bear with me while I pull those up. And cool. So for our existing customers, there was heaps of questions about what this lockdown might mean for them. Our sales guys have been, and females have been busy today ringing people who have international products of ours who are looking for handovers. And just updating. We're just doing it week by week at the moment. We don't know, hopefully at 4 o'clock we'll know more. In terms of the build schedule, Kirsten has sent out an email today just notifying you of where you're at. But unfortunately, the fact that we
It looks like Ashley's having troubles again there today. Yeah, so just following up on what she was saying, obviously with the lockdown being in Auckland, it has had an impact on our factory with not being able to have the guys in to complete that, but certainly we will be in touch with the people that are impacted going forward. So just watch this space. We will be in touch to keep you as up to date as we can.
Thanks, Ness. Am I back?
You are.
Sorry, I don't know what's happening. Perfect though. That was another one. Are the extra charges for diesel engines coming in next year going to apply to the new motorhomes, or because we have AdBlue, it doesn't apply? Does anybody know the answer to that?
Yeah, I do, Ashley. I believe the extra charges are not going to happen with the motorhomes, as far as I'm aware.
Good to know. Does anybody know? So Brian has got a 2010 Coromandel. It lives outside and gets starting to get a bit chalky and dull. What do you recommend to clean it and bring it back, bring the shine back? Would someone say VCP?
Yeah, probably a good buff initially, and then apply a product like VCP or which is going to give a protected layer. So it'll just stop that chalkiness and just maintain a bit of a shine to it.
Thanks, Grant. Could somebody talk to the new Series 8 Fiat Ducato and when we're expecting to see those on the new motorhomes?
We might be able to send the link out, but I found probably about a month ago there was a wonderful video on the Series 8 Fiat Ducato. So there's a few minor aesthetic changes. It's a new engine and quite a bit of cool information on that. So I think if you want to look it up immediately, just jump onto YouTube and type in 2022 Fiat Ducato. And you'll probably find it, but we'll try and find that link and flick it out as well, because there's a lot of cool new features. So have a look at that. From memory, I think we'll start getting those around about December, January for the next model vehicles that are built on the Fiats.
Cool. And yeah, Adam just messaged and said we should see the Series 8 on the new Fusion by December. So that's good to know. Anyone, Johnny and Christine are asking about information of vehicles required to tow the heavier caravans. Maybe Ness, could you talk to that? What's required in terms of your tow vehicle?
Look, yeah, sure. One of the biggest things that you need to know is obviously the weight of the caravan, for starters. And that really determines obviously what type of tow vehicle that you're actually going to have. The two need to match. And more than anything, your tow vehicle needs to be a vehicle that is capable of towing a lot more than what your caravan is. There are other factors obviously involved with that as well too, is making sure from a braking point of view, you know, does your tow vehicle have an auto braking system in it to assist with whatever it is that you are towing. Certainly, you know, obviously for a lot of caravans that are out there, a lot of the English range, they kind of fall somewhere between maybe 1,300 and 1,800 kilos. My recommendation is that you need a vehicle that has a 2.5 ton tow rating, just to make sure that you're actually not putting any extra stress on your tow vehicle that you actually have. By the same token, if you go into a caravan that might have say a 2,200 kilo rating as far as that's concerned, well then you need to be looking at a vehicle that has a 3.5 ton tow rating. Look, it doesn't always match like that. It's certainly a recommendation as far as somebody that has towed caravans before. You need to make sure it's not just the caravan being the right fit in a lot of these situations, but it is making sure that your tow vehicle has that right fit to go with it. So yet again, consult the team. We'll certainly advise you as you go along to make sure that we fit the right caravan with your existing tow vehicle, and or advise you if you're looking at upgrading both along the tracks.
Awesome, thanks Ness. And I'll just answer just one more. The new Coromandel layout, yes, the 360 shows an old version of that. We used to do the cafe lounge. We don't do that anymore, and we just do the U-shape and the Coromandel at the rear. So thank you everybody for joining us. We had heaps of people in here, and I know that maybe I haven't answered all of the questions, but I will do a follow-up email that will include sort of a link to that reach out or not needs assessment with the sales team. I'll link you to our website and some key places you can find resources on our website, and I'll also link you to the recording once it's been loaded up onto YouTube. Thanks sales team for joining me and for sharing your knowledge with everybody. We really appreciate it. So I'll just let you guys say goodbye and then we'll wrap it up.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thanks Dougie.
Thanks for your time.
Bye.
See you later.
Thank you for a very sunny Christchurch today.
Thanks Ness, and thanks for bearing with me with my technical troubles today. So I appreciate it.
We look forward to getting calls from a lot of our viewers today. Please follow up with our team. We are here and ready to help you, even during lockdown. So please make sure that you get in touch.
And I will just say too, I just had a text from Andy, our service manager, and he mentioned that for those that are out there in their motorhomes, our service centre is available and taking calls at the moment, and available via email as well if you need any service related help that we could, you know, assist with over email. So please do feel free to reach out. But thank you everybody, appreciate it, and we'll be in touch.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.